What's going on, people? It's your boy Cole Jackson once again, back with another episode. This is more of a STEM clip. This is where I'm going to give you guys a little bit of extra content for this week. This is the video where I'm going to give you 5 predictions of what's going to happen in hip hop in 2025. This is going to be a year where things are going to change up. This is going to be a pivotal year in hip hop where we're going to see something that we've never seen before. And things are going to kind of get turned on its head. Technology, with artists, with the old guard kind of passing on or going away. So this is where I'm going to give you guys what you could be looking for. And these are predictions. So if I'm not right, it's okay. It's just me predicting what could be or what we could see this year. So let's go ahead and get into it. Number 5, hip hop's AI revolution. 2025 is going to be the year where we're going to see way more AI. This is going to really shake up hip hop. This is going to really change the way we listen to music. We've already seen glimpses of this with what AI can do, from generating beats to cloning voices. It's been a thing for the past 2 years, and I think this is going to be the year where it's going to change dramatically. We already have AI generated beats and production going on. There are 2 platforms out here right now called Emperor Music and I think it's Avaya Music as well, which are giving artists the ability to generate complex instruments in minutes. So instead of replacing producers with human producers, like finding the next crop of real good producers and the next crop of up and coming producers, it looks like people are going to start leaning into stuff more like AI versions, like the AI versions of things. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt the game. I do see where AI can be instrumental and can help for independent artists who are just trying to get their music out there and they can't afford, they don't have a budget for real producers. But I also see it as a situation where people will most definitely get lazy. They'll most definitely take the time out to use it instead of actually using real people who they can afford. And it kind of pushes out, creativity, and it pushes out originality. Looking at the landscape of hip hop right now, we already have 2 people who have been in the game for a while that's going to actually take advantage of this. So it's been rumored that Kanye West is going to be leaning into AI to make his new album Bully. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I know Kanye always wants to be the person who wants to be ahead of the game, and Kanye's always being the revolutionary. He's the person who's always ahead when it comes to technology and music. But I don't know if I want to hear an AI-based album from Kanye West. Like, don't get me wrong. I've complained about this man's lyrics. I've complained about his raps going below subpar. And I know that he could do way better than what he's been doing. But that means you should go and find writers. Saha's still out here. Consequence is still out here. You have writers out here who can actually still help you with what you're doing. Leaning towards AI to help you with your raps just doesn't feel organic, and it just don't feel like the Kanye way to me. So I think that this is something that I most definitely want to stay away from. If Kanye West is fully leaning into AI when he comes out with the album Bully, that might be something to keep me away from it. Then we have Lupe Fiasco, who's leaning more way into the AI bag when he's going to come up with a radio station called Endless Loop, where he's teamed up with MIT, and the radio station is going to create songs that's supposed to seamlessly mimic his rap style and his rap ability, and they're supposed to make new songs. I think it's like every minute or every other minute or something like that, and play it seamlessly, and then it's supposed to go away just like that. And all you need to do is have FM radio to hear it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I think a lot of people hold Lupe Fiasco in high regards as a rapper. If he's moving into that area and if he's moving into that space, he's taking away the writing ability, the ability to create new music from other rappers who aspire to be as good as him. And what does that say about people who are leaning into that? That's just taken away from what hip hop is really based on or founded on. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that all AI is bad. I just feel like people of that ilk and at that caliber of hip hop should never be trying to lean into AI like that. You're doing a whole radio station of AI music, my nigga. Like, let's keep it a buck. I don't think a lot of people who are real hip hop fans are gonna accept it. And the younger generation is not gonna really fuck with it either. They are here to listen to you write your own shit and put your shit together. And, having something with AI generated lyrics and hooks and ideas, it just doesn't feel like you're keeping it, keeping it whole, keeping it a buck with the culture. It doesn't feel like you are keeping it 100 with the culture. And that's something that scares me a whole lot. That also means that we're going to have a lot of debates going on this year. 2025 is going to be a heavy year when it comes to AI. I think a lot of purists are going to argue that it's going to go everything against everything the culture is rooted in. And I think on the other side of that, it's gonna talk. People are gonna talk about how hip hop should always embrace innovation. It should always embrace what's new, so it doesn't fall behind everywhere else. But here's a question: I don't see pop music going that route. I don't see country music going that route. Why is it that hip hop has to be the one that has to accept the innovation part of AI and not everybody else? I don't see Taylor Swift going out there making an AI album, and I don't think she ever will. She has too many fans that rely on her to be original, that relies on her to write about her life and to give them songs that comes originally from her. Hip hop being a part of this, or hip hop trying to be the first to do this, is just another way of niggas being lazy and not really coming up with original styles or lyrics. So we'll see. I don't know what the determining factor is going to be. It's really going to come down to how the culture is going to embrace it. I think AI is good in some places, but if you're fully integrating yourself into AI when it comes to hip hop, it's we're going to completely lose this culture to laziness and unoriginality. Number 4, we're going to get major albums from major artists, but it's not going to be the same as 2024. What do I mean by that? 2025, I think the major artists are going to drop few and far between. I think that we're going to get some good albums, not nothing that's going to be over the top classics. 2024 is going to be a hard year to follow up. That's just all it is to it. 2024 was one of the biggest years in music. I don't care what y'all say. Look at what dropped. You can look at what dropped and you can tell 2024 was that year. This year is going to be a little bit different. And I think later on in the countdown, you'll understand why. Of course, we're going to get something from Kendrick Lamar. He did drop GNX the end of 2024, but you have to understand, with the Grammys coming up and the Super Bowl halftime coming up, he's got a lot of stuff left in the tank. I think that GNX was something for the moment. GNX was something to address some of the concerns people had about what he was doing in hip hop. But this album that he drops in 2025 is going to be the real album. This is going to be the album that kind of, to talk more about the culture, this is going to be the one where we know he's coming from a different place. And it's not going to be as mainstream as GNX was, and it's not going to be the bops and the slaps that you niggas was hearing. We're going to get very in-depth. We're going to get very serious. We're going to get a different side of Kendrick that we may have heard before, but the type of lyrics and the type of content we get on the album, completely out of here. And I think that he's going to do it. If history tells me correctly, he's probably going to do it after the Super Bowl. I'm going to say it right now. Kendrick Lamar is going to drop a new album right after Super Bowl performance. It only makes sense, and it's perfect because it'll top off his Grammy wins, and it'll top off him doing a great Super Bowl performance, and it'll lead right into the tour he's going to do in 2025. So it only makes sense to get this Kendrick Lamar album right after the Super Bowl. And it just makes sense. Which takes me into another artist one of my favorite artists, J. Cole. J. Cole has already confirmed the fall off is coming. I think this is the year that we're going to get it. And I think this is going to be J. Cole's final project as a full-time rapper. I know rappers don't necessarily really retire, but this is going to be the album that's going to mark the culmination of like this storytelling era. And this could be the album where he completely says goodbye. If you think about last year where he dropped Might Delete Later, which was a very good album, go back and listen to it. And you think about what he did with Inevitable and the anniversary stuff, I think all of the nostalgia stuff is just leading up to him saying, yo, I'm kissing the game goodbye. This is it. The fall off is where I stop being full time and giving you guys albums and start moving into my executive bag and actually start doing more feature work, which is cool. I mean, I think J. Cole has said everything he needed to say. He don't got nothing else to really talk about. He's proved himself, no matter what the critics may say about what he did. He's proved himself to be one of the best we've heard in years. It only makes sense for him to put out the fall off in 2025 and kiss the game goodbye, wave goodbye, ride off into the sunset. I don't think he leaves. I don't think he leaves on a bad note. I think this is going to be the classic that we have looked for a long time from J. Cole, and I can't wait to hear it. Kanye West has been teasing new music also. He's been on social media with snippets, and he's been what did he troll Casanat. He's been doing little things here and there to show us that this album Bully is really coming out in 2025. I'm not mad at it. The only problem I have is really if he fully leans into AI like people have been kind of like it's rumored to happen. So I don't know where we're going with this, but I do want to hear new Kanye West music, and I think Bully will be one of the first true Kanye West albums where he is actually digging in and giving us the best that he has. Vultures Volume 2, that shit can go to the side. I'm not even, I've completely erased that from my mind. If we're getting anything like old Kanye, I think Bully is going to be one of those albums we have to sit down and listen to. Also, we have the Clips. The Clips have been teasing this reunion album for about a year and a half now. We've been waiting on Pusha T and No Malice to drop something new. I think they're going to have one of the biggest albums this year as well. Pusha T is already kind of giving us some clues. He's cleared out his Instagram, which usually means something big is coming. He's already said the album is done on plenty of interviews, so the Clips are going to have a huge year as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pusha drops something solo as well. He's one of those ones we always looking out for when it comes to music. But the Clips reunion album, I think, is going to be one of the bigger things that we talk about when it comes to hip hop in 2025. And last but not least, are we going to get the Cardi B album we've been looking for? We have been getting teased about this album for a year and a half, and Cardi's been in the studio, and we've been waiting and waiting. I know she's been going through a lot of relationship drama, but is this the year that we get the sophomore album that we've been waiting on? Is this the year we finally get to hear Cardi do a full project and not just singles? Or are we just getting teased to be set up for nothing else for another year? I think from what she's been doing on her Instagram and the things that she's been teasing, I think we're probably going to get it. I wouldn't be surprised. She's giving out small leaks here and there. And I think we're finally going to get the album that we've been waiting on from Cardi B. So, I mean, these are major artists that are going to drop in 2025. And I'm super excited to see how this goes. But don't think this whole year is going to be full of those. I think the new era of rappers are going to actually do more for 2025. But that's later on down in the list. Number 3, 2025 is going to be the year of UK rap. So I currently live in the UK right now. I moved here to do content, and I actually wanted to do more coverage of the UK scene here. And I wanted to learn more about grime and UK drill and just UK rap in general. And they have a lot going on over here right now in the scene. It's bubbling, and I think 2025 is going to explode. Now, all of this, the catalyst to all of this is going to be Central C. Central C drops his debut album, Can't Rush Greatness. It's going to come out January the 24th in 2025. This is one of the most important UK releases we could ever have. And the reason being is because this is going to be probably the bridge that gets the UK and the US understanding each other in hip hop. I know that sounds crazy because of acts like Dave and Giggs and Stormzy and artists like that. But this album is something different about what's going on with Cinch. Central C is looked at as like the next one up, and he's like the man. He is a superstar over here in the UK. And I think with that, on top of a lot of the crossover records that he's done, you have to think Central C has had he had On the Radar freestyle with Drake, which was huge, great cosign. He also has done songs with Lil Baby. He's done songs with US acts. And this album is going to have some US influence in it, but I think he's going to keep it straight UK, and he's going to keep people interested in what UK has to offer when it comes to hip hop. It's easy to see that Central C is going to be like one of the major superstars, but somebody who I think is going to break through as well is a rapper by the name of J Hus. Now, J Hus is one of the most versatile artists I've heard in a while. He blends grime with Afro beats, and he has a rap style that's like completely different from anything I've heard from other people. I was listening to J Hus like 2023, 2022. Like J Hus has been that dude for me for a very long time. And I think this is going to be the year where more people from the States are actually going to get a chance to listen to him. Now, I know he's done records with some major artists in the US before, but I think with everything going on in hip hop over here in the UK right now, I think this is a perfect time for people in the States to get to know J Hus a whole lot better. He is the man. I really enjoy his albums. I think he has a great rap style. And again, blending grime and Afro beats is some shit that I don't think anybody I don't know a lot of artists who could do it, but he's one of the ones who can. So I think the U.S. has to be prepared to get ready to listen to J Hus. Another artist on my radar that you should be looking out for is Potter Paper. Potter Paper is one of those. He's one of those rappers who has like great lyricism and storytelling, and he can get it. He can hang with anybody in the U.S. I promise you that. But he's been nothing short of incredible, and he actually has some stuff going on with Alchemist. It was announced last year, I think, on his Instagram, where he said he and Alchemist are either going to do a song together or they may even do an album together. And if him and Alchemist are getting together, then you already know what it's going to be. And I think that'll be another opportunity for people in the States to know who Potter Paper is and what kind of lyricist he is. He's an independent artist. He has his own label, and I can't wait to hear what he has for 2025. And last but not least, is two more artists on my radar that people need to get to know, and that'll kind of fully fill out what I've been listening to here over in the UK. So Clavish is a drill rapper who has serious talent. I've been talking about Clavish since like 2022 or 2023. When I heard Rap Game Awful, one of my favorite mixtapes ever. I love Clavish. Young talent. He is super talented. He dropped his first studio album in 2024, which was Chapter 16, and I thought that shit was fire. Nobody really talked about it. Clavish is going to be another artist that you should be looking out for because he's going to do some incredible things this year. You just gotta watch. UK drill is it's not on the decline, but it's right now it's kind of leveling out. But I think with him being one of the newer artists that's pushing UK drill, I think people should take time out to listen to what he's got to say. I'm pretty sure he's going to drop something else in 2025, and I know for sure it's going to be heat. And then there's this artist by the name of Shy Cartier. She is like this braggadocious rapper that feels fresh and exciting. Like, she had this single last year called Yo that dropped, and that I could not stop playing that shit. That shit is heat. She is next up. She does have a mixtape that's going to be dropping in the first quarter of 2025, and I think that niggas should be checking her out. She killed the remix of Yo with Heady One, and she's just super talented, and I really enjoy her music. Go back and listen to a lot of her shit. She is dope as fuck. If this mixtape is a reflection of what that single Yo was in 2024, she's going to completely kill the game, and she's going to be somebody who you really need to be looking out for, either over here in the UK or somebody over in the States. I really enjoy her music. I think she's fire as hell. UK rap is going to offer a lot of stuff as far as like creative alternatives in 2025, and I think people in the US are going to get tired of some of the same old shit that they've been listening to for the last 5 years. And actually, again, when that Central C album drops, that's the bridge for people to come over and start seeing what the UK has to offer when it comes to hip hop. Number 2, the new generation of hip hop will step up. So 2025 is going to mark the year where it's time for the newer era of hip hop, or the newer era artists, to start stepping up and actually taking the reins and start taking over. Artists like Jid and Baby Keem. Like, Jid has told us in 2024 that he just turned the album in. He's got it done. He's ready. We should be getting something from Jid in 2025. And if it's anything like the Forever Story, we're going to get another classic. Jid was one of those artists, man, where he has been consistent. He's delivered great verses. He's been a great feature. And again, the Forever Story was one of those albums where I really loved everything about it. The lyrics, the storytelling, the production, everything. So it's time for us to get another Jid album in 2025. Which goes into Baby Keem. Baby Keem's been quiet. I haven't heard anything from Baby Keem. He wasn't even on GNX, and he's one of the flagship artists for PG Lane. Now, we already know that Baby Keem is one of those people who have unique production style. Actually, just a unique style in general when it comes to making albums or putting together music. And his previous album was one of those that was kind of, I guess it was really odd, but it actually fit the mold of who he is if you've listened to him throughout his career. And I thought it was a solid album. I thought it was a solid piece of work. And I know he's trying to get from under his shadow of being Kendrick Lamar's cousin. So I understand why we haven't heard from him. The next album Baby Keem drops is, which I think is named Child of Wolves, will be his breakout album. 2025 is going to be the year where we're going to be talking about Baby Keem and how great he is and so on and so forth. The pen game is there. We know he can write. When this album drops, I think he'll be one of the leaders of the new generation to kind of help hip hop move along in 2025. Somebody else who I keep in high regard as well is Big X the Plug. He's got that new energy, man. He's been holding it down for Southern hip hop. He had one of my favorite albums in 2025, Take Care. He always comes out with heat. I don't think there's a Big X the Plug album I don't like. And I think he keeps that same energy this year as well. I think he's going to be another one of those pillars in hip hop, the new pillar, one of the new pillars in hip hop that keeps it going. He's independent. He can drop whenever he feels like it. He also has his own label, 600 Entertainment, which I think the artists he has on his roster are good as fuck too. So why not drop more music? We need more music from Big X the Plug. I think he's tremendous for the game. I really enjoy his music as well. Another artist that we should be looking out for too is Kenny Mason. Kenny Mason's been holding it down for the alternative side of rap for a little while. He's one of the newest artists. I think it's time for us to start embracing that side of hip hop. JPEG Mafia showed us last year that you can drop an album on the alt side of things and still have one of the best hip hop albums of the year. And I think Kenny Mason is the one that's next up to be doing that. And I think we'll embrace him a whole lot more once he comes off a tour with Denzel Curry. They're going to do their whole U.S. tour thing. And then once they come off a tour, I'm pretty sure Kenny Mason will have another album that'll drop. And I think we should start embracing him as one of the newer acts that's going to be leading the new generation of hip hop. If you listen to the new Little Baby album, then you already know Glorilla has already started her run as one, probably going to be the best feature artist of 2025. I'm not going to look. She had a great year last year. Glorilla can rap. We need to go ahead and start giving her flowers right now and giving her credit. But I think she's going to go on a run as probably the best feature artist to have on your album this year. I think she's going to do a ton of features. I think she's going to kill everything that she gets on. She slid on Little Baby on Redbone. She's probably going to slide on a whole lot of other people on their albums. She is somebody to be looking out for. And if she drops a little EP or something like that, I wouldn't be mad at that either. Also, another person, Ray Vaughn from TDE. I have been singing his praises all of 2024 with every single that he dropped. He's one of those people that gives you the storytelling. He kind of reminds me of the golden era of hip hop. He is going to have his album drop this year as well. TDE is not going to miss an opportunity to drop Ray Vaughn. He has been very solid in 2024. Nobody talked about him. He low-key had one of the best years out of any young rapper out there. So if we don't get an album from Ray Vaughn, it's going to be a travesty of justice. And Cash Cobain, one of the most innovative producers we've had in a while. You can talk shit about the sexy drill shit all you want to, but that nigga most definitely is a leader of the new generation. And I think he's going to shake things up again in 2025, proving that producers can be just as influential as rappers. He proved it last year with him and Chow Lee. I love the album that he dropped last year, and I think this year is going to be even bigger. And my number one prediction for 2025 is Drake's redemption arc. Drake took a lot of L's last year. 2024 was not kind to Drake. Drake took L's. He lost a rap battle. He had to battle his peers. People turned their back on him. He had to sue UMG because he wants to get more money. I'm not mad at that, by the way. He had a bad year. But what better way to start the year off than with the Fighting Irish freestyle, which Drake was rapping. And even if it was something old, he set the table for his 2025. I think the Fighting Irish freestyle was something that he had to put out there to address what was going on. Yes, it was LeBron diss. Fuck it. That nigga was rapping. He came out and he showed people I can still do this at a high level, and I'm here for it. I think Drake had to exercise those demons before we can actually get to the real thing, which is the music. He has an upcoming collab with Party Next Door. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a Party Next Door fan. I'm not excited for that album per se, but I understand that it's got to be done. It's something that he's going to do. They've always had chemistry. They've always done really well on songs together. I think this is something to kind of ease him back into the public eye in a good way, and not just, how people viewed him all 2024. The Party Next Door album is going to be the gateway. Then you have the tour in Australia, which he'll get away from the negativity going on in the US. I think that tour is going to give him more time to think and to come up with better music if he don't have music in the tuck already. A lot of people saying he's got an album done and he's just waiting to be able to put it out. His whole thing with UMG, that's still lingering over his head, and I think that's a big reason why we haven't got the collab album from him and Party Next Door or whatever new heat he may have in the tuck. So we're waiting on that. And I think he finally gets past this whole UMG situation. I don't think he'll go independent because Jesus is Drake. It's I don't think he could ever be an independent artist. But I really feel like he'll settle his deal with UMG. I feel like they'll figure something out. He'll get his bag. He'll get what he deserves. He'll figure out how to distribute his music again. And we're gonna get one of the biggest and best albums we've heard from him in a very long time. I don't think we're gonna get the same recycled bullshit that we got from CLB or For All the Dogs or shit like that. I think he's gonna finally say, I think he's gonna put together an album that's gonna have an equal amount of slaps with good rapping. Call me crazy, call me somebody who don't know what they talking about, but I seriously feel like Drake is going to redeem himself this year. No matter how y'all feel about what he said on the freestyle and who he was talking about, you cannot deny this nigga cannot rap. He was rapping. He's going to rap on this new album, and he's going to put out one of the best projects of 2025. I'm telling you what I know because I've seen this story before. It just makes a whole lot of sense. And who doesn't love a redemption story? Who doesn't want to see somebody redeem themselves from what they came through, what they went through in the previous year? It's a tale as old as time, bruh. We love to see niggas redeem themselves. You can hate on him all you want to. You can talk shit about him all you want to. But when he comes with that album, with that new album energy, and when he finally gives the people what they want, which is rapping Drake and slaps Drake, all is forgiven. Everything is done. Hey man, you did good. You figured it out. You got out of your slump. Leave the bullshit behind. Stop recycling the same albums. Give us raps. Give us the hits that we know you can put out. And call it a day. And redeem yourself, my nigga. You'll be all right. So there you have it. Those are my predictions for 2025. It's going to be a pivotal year for hip hop. I'm telling you, 2025 is going to change the way we look at things. And I think 2025 is going to be the year where we don't get the same old bullshit. But don't be on the internet complaining. Don't sit up and say, there's no new music, niggas suck. There's plenty of things out there for you guys to listen to. And if you just dig around and get outside of your comfort zone, I guarantee you'll find some new music. It's going to be there. You're just going to have to search for it this year. I appreciate everybody coming to the channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, become a socialite today and subscribe to the channel and be a part of the STEM Society and the BYNK Media Network. I got nothing else for you guys. I'll catch you next episode. Peace out.
Thank you for joining the STEM Society.